Don't get stuck. It's all about growth. It's about making adjustments. You know, as parents, we grew up one way and we want to pass that on to our children, and some stuff we shouldn't pass. But you will pass everything on if you're not getting new information. Generations gonna get the same outcomes. I think learning is about humility. It's about saying, I don't know enough. Give your kids something that you never had, and not just money, but give them an experience, you know what I'm saying, that you never had. So make the adjustments, y'all.
This week, our show is brought to you by our partner in crime, Organifi. Organifi is an organic superfood supplement line that makes quality, trusted nutrition convenient and accessible. Their most popular product, green juice, can supercharge your life, restore that glow, and help you feel decades younger in just 30 seconds per day without having to worry about shopping for ingredients, mixing and blending them, and then cleaning up afterwards. All ingredients are USDA organic, vegan-friendly, and made without GMO ingredients, gluten, or soy. Where else can you get superfoods like chlorella, moringa, spirulina, wheatgrass, ashwagandha, and turmeric, just to name a few? So make sure you guys check it out at www.organifi.com/success. That's ORGANIFI.com/success.
I wake up every single day, I am who I say I am, and I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Wesley Phillips.
Hey, I'm going to go with the confident Bayesian sensation this episode. Let's go.
We back. Dr. Douglas Eric Michael Thompson the third is in the building. What's going on, E?
Man, I wish I was the third.
We in here having a conversation about affluenza. They kids got affluenza. I still whoop my kids, so we, you know what I'm saying?
That's what the truth.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what happens. But no, Carl, what were you saying? You said your kids was getting, what was going on?
I was just watching. So in Chicago last weekend with the real estate hookup mall was doing, and I FaceTime my family. So my wife is taking the kids somewhere, and I'm just watching. I don't know, it was just weird. Like I saw her, so she's driving this Suburban, and, you know, she held the phone up in the middle so I could see them. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching them, and it's like my kids just got this look on them. Like my daughter sitting with her legs crossed.
You feel me?
And my son in the back, his foot up. And I'm just like, yo, what in the world is happening in my house? Like, it just felt like, what did I create right now? Like, they just got like a life that just seemed
too comfy?
Too comfy. That's the way to say it. Just like everything is right for them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, are we doing right by them? You know what I'm saying? When everything is that comfortable for him?
Yeah, well, E, you tell us. You got the older kids, so Jalen grew up half his life eating dirt sandwiches.
You know what's so crazy, though? I do think, and again, I'm not, you know, this is not empirical evidence, but I do think it's different for males than it is females. And I'm only saying that because I think sometimes, maybe in some cases, at least in my house, it just seems like, you know, sometimes girls are more mature. Like they grow faster. They stop growing at a certain age. Like they're developed at a certain age. Whereas, you know, they say the average male doesn't literally.
To about 40.
Yeah, 40 years old and the brain stop, you know, developing all the way. You know what I'm saying?
Couple more years and I'm home free.
You know what I'm saying? You know, and so, but
soon as you hit 40.
I will say this to you though. So, I see it in my son more than my daughter, you know, and it could be, you know, experience. But Jada went to Mexico years ago, her freshman year.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Jada came back literally in tears. And I saw how that changed her, just, you know, her perspective. Like she was crying like, yo, Dad, I just want to tell you I'm sorry. Like she was like, for real, I'm whining about stuff when I have a bed. When I have running water. She's like, yo, these kids, she's like, Dad, I'm not even talking about what they don't have. I'm talking about their attitude toward what they don't have. She's like, they drinking dirty water and they geeked. They got cancer, some of them in the hospital. They still happy and excited. And she was saying, I'm so privileged that I didn't even know I was this privileged. So I went to a third world country and experienced it. Now, you know, I don't know that Book been to a third world country. You know what I'm saying? His freshman year, they was doing the MSU basketball schedule, so he didn't necessarily have that same experience. You know what I'm saying? So what I see is not spoiled in terms of giving them, the luxuries of life. What I think happened is that when our kids don't have to face certain challenges, so then what happens is they get in a situation where they have to deal with a challenge, and if it's your first time really dealing with a serious challenge in your 20s, like it's tough. And so I think about it. Sometimes I'll be like, yo, why y'all so spoiled? It's like, no disrespect to my children, but I was literally homeless at 16 years old.
I'm not tripping on the contract not working out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've gone through so much.
Slept in abandoned buildings.
And it was funny because C was saying yesterday it was hot in here. And I was like, yo, C, I'm sure it was. I was like, but sometimes my homelessness kicks in.
You try to throw me under the affluenza bus.
Yeah, no. I was just saying, like, yo, for real, you get to a point for real, when you're homeless, Didi get on me sometimes, like, yo, why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do that? Like, we're in a different financial bracket. Like, why are you still doing that? And she's like,
why are you still scratching your back with a knife?
Yeah. She's like, I get it. You was homeless. You know what I'm saying? So I do. I look at my son sometimes, and even my daughter in certain situations. I remember she just recently was in New York with her girls on a girls trip, and she had a hard time with the charge card thing. You know what I'm saying? And so Didi was like, yo, why are you, like, what are you calling me for? What's going on? And I was like, Didi, think about it. Ever since they were kids, we've checked them in, like, Didi had the suite in the middle.
Jada was the first Amazon Prime member.
Absolutely.
I'm talking about, I
before
Jada
you even knew.
was in third grade. They was like, it's a package on the porch. Jada was like, that's mine.
That's mine.
I was like, man.
Well, I didn't even know how to do it. I'm like, what is she doing? She's like, go to the store. Who goes to the store, Dad?
Right.
So Didi was like, yo, I can't believe Jada couldn't. And I said, Didi, she's been on the road with us her whole life. We have always checked her into a hotel room.
Yep.
Like, we've always had like the suite, and she got the little, her and Jalen had the little room right there.
Yeah.
Where the connecting.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
for sure.
and so I said to Didi, she's never had to check herself in a room. How would she know how to do it if she's never done it? Didi was like, from now on, she check it in. From now on, she renting the car. And I'm like, absolutely. Well, there are some things that Jalen can do, and I realize the reason why he's able to do that, and that's not stressful, because of what he went through with Michigan State basketball. Like, as a manager, there was certain responsibilities he had. So I'm just saying, I don't say money no more. It has nothing to do with that. It's when they have a challenging situation and we jump in. You know what I'm saying? When they fall and hurt themselves, something goes on, we rescue them. And so when they get to a certain age and now they got to deal with real life challenges, they don't have the muscle memory to deal with it, because they've never dealt with it.
Okay, so that's
before.
a good question, and we can Carl, I guess for us, right? So you have the means, the resources, the ability to take care of the issues. Not only that, when you're a parent, you feel this overwhelming protective, like, mother bear, papa bear type thing. Like, for instance, let's say, the kids are at school, right? It could be my kids, it could be Carl kids, whatever, and they have a bully that's picking on them. You know what I'm saying? Jordan got a second grader that's on his head. Do you run up there and take care of it immediately, or do you try to let life sort itself out?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a real question. Right. And so what you're talking about is allowing them to go through things. But I think as a parent, right, or as, who are you out there listening, you got, nephew, whatever, your natural inclination is to be like, what? Protect. You got a bully up there. Yeah. Oh, meeting, take care of this, get my man suspended. And you like, are we robbing them of their ability to work through things?
Absolutely.
And I'm saying, how far do you let it go? I guess is because I'm telling you right now.
And I don't know, but look, how far did you go?
I'm Rambo. I'm at the school. I'll beat your daddy down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm beating up the kid and the dad. Hey, everybody going to jail.
My mom said to me, we were talking about the same issue, and she said, dude, she said, y'all would come home from school, and school wasn't an issue. Again, back in the day, the teacher whooped you, that was it. You get whooped again. That's a different thing.
That's so funny.
Said,
the Barbados lineup was...
Oh, bro, I'm talking about got whooped. The whole class. But watch this. She said, like, yo, y'all would come home from school in the evenings, go outside, and she's like, I wouldn't hear from y'all for 2-3 hours. Right. Y'all out there playing with y'all friends. She's like, I'm sure y'all got into fights. Bruh. I'm sure y'all did y'all thing. She's like, I never looked to East Point. You had to learn to... negotiate. You want my man toy, you want his toy. You know what I'm saying? You learn all those skills just on your own. So to that point, now again, the world is different though.
It is, but not that different. I seen Tamisha about to rip some kid head off dealing with Jordan. Like no, I see when somebody say something to
for
Jordan.
sure.
Sorry, Tamisha.
No, I talked to Tamisha. We've had this talk. Like she's like, I don't know how to fix it.
I'm sorry for saying it in front of 50,000 people.
Okay. All right. No, we've talked about it. And she like, it's for real. It's like, I see what you said. And the 50,000 that's listening, most of them do it. It is that protective boy. And you like, that person's doing this to my child. You know, and it's like, when we was growing up, literally, to your point, my cousins, we used to be getting into fights and wrestling, whatever. Nobody ever said anything. Like, it was like they didn't even see it. They were playing cards, talking, chopping it up. But for real, I notice now when kids fight, the neighbors, everybody's watching and in it. And at whatever point they feel like it's too much, they're going to snatch them out. Like to Carl's point, my parents was nowhere around. And when me and my cousins was going through it, and I'm looking over at my mom like, figure it out. You got to figure it out. You figure out fighting on the block. Because my mother's thing was, I'm not going to be able to be with you everywhere you go. My old dude, I'm not going to be able to be with you everywhere you go. So you got to figure it out. And I'm going to be real. Jalen, I'm talking about, he said something once. Yeah, my dad, because I worked at the Wood Creek when he went there, and he let these two boys beat me up. And you could tell he was pissed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was grown, still with an attitude about it. And he was like, I expected you to jump in and whatever. And I was like, bro, I'm not trying to be funny, but where I grew up, as a teacher, I'm the teacher right now. I'm not wearing a daddy hat. I knew that I wasn't about to let them, now you didn't know, I wasn't about to let them kill you. And they weren't going to kill you anyway because I was there. But they did want to treat you like an equal, like a normal. And I didn't want you to be the white gloves kid where you come up to the school and that's E.T. father and we can't say nothing, do something, because if I do that, now I'm going to destroy you being able to be in friendships with them and be in that community with them. So I let him get him. But he didn't die. But to your point though, see, he was kind of like, Dad, you didn't let, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, that's how I was raised. I gotta let you, there's some things I gotta let you figure out on your own.
Hey, last week I locked the kids outside, not even playing. We got a new neighbor now. Shout out to Bill. Kids are identical ages to Jordan and Jesse, live immediately next door.
Oh, really?
Oh, let me tell you something. He don't know where the kids are. I don't know where the kids are. We like parents of the year, that ain't us. But the one thing we do have in common is like, go outside and figure it out.
Yeah.
Any of the kids come in crying, like, I don't care what just happened. Y'all go back outside. I literally locked the door. Like, I went to the door like, hey, y'all good? Cool. All right. And I walked away. Go outside and figure it out. Because you have to. Like, life is coming. Yeah. All kinds of stuff coming. And if you're not figuring it out now.
I was just thinking if we die. Like, that's my big thing. And I know that's wrong, but I always think of, if I was to die when they were young, I didn't want them to be shell-shocked. And they couldn't do anything. Like, so I wanted to be a father for them, but I was like, if something happens to you, and I've literally experienced that, where kids would lose their parent and they would lose their life because their parents were so involved and so engaged. And that's a good thing. But when they lost their parent, they were lost because they didn't know how to tie their own shoes, if that makes sense. So I always told my kids, if I knew I was gonna live to be 100, I would have I would have done it. Yeah, I would have. But I don't know that I'm going to be able to like make it till y'all have grandkids or graduate or get married. And so I wanted to try to find that balance of loving on you, but not crippling you at the same time. And I think I did okay, but I still see some areas as Jalen and Jada are adults that I was like, you shouldn't be that emotionally engaged. But where does that come from? Me not having that opportunity when I was 6. So we teased Michael Jackson for whatever. But Mike was grown when he was 6. He had the work schedule of an adult. So yeah, he might have been grown, but he built the doggone, what was the name of it? Neverland. He built that because he never got his childhood. And so it's just like, man, I look back at my kids and was like, you know, maybe 30%, 25, 30%, I should have taken my foot off the gas and let them drive a little bit more.
Yeah, it's funny. My wife and I had this issue the other day. We were leaving from the baseball game, and Trey and them are doing really well. You know, 4-0. Trey hit about 3 home runs. You know what I'm saying? It's been good. But anyway, we were leaving from the game, right? And my wife and Trey was like, "All right, we won, Dad. We undefeated." And Candace was like, "Well, you know that's not the most important thing." Like, she was like, "You had fun and you learned, right? So that's the most important thing." And I was like, "Ooh, like slow down." I'm like, no. Like, no, we need to win too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No doubt.
and we kind of got into it
No
a little bit,
question.
and it wasn't like nothing big, but I was just like, yo, like, even last year, like, you know, he was only 4, so they like will run around after the game. They didn't really know what was up. And Trey would be in the car like, did we win, Dad? I'm like, absolutely not. We got killed. It's over. We lost.
Yeah.
We're going home. We're not the champions. I wanted them to feel that. You know what I'm saying? Like, where my wife was like, don't tell him that. And I'm like, nah. It's like, yo, you got to let them feel something. So as you guys are talking, and this is something that's been on my mind, and you know, for those of you out there who are raising kids, whatever, you know, maybe you can relate to this. But as you guys are talking, right? So I'm the same way. Obviously, I grew up very middle class. We're here in my hometown right now. I just left Sexton the other day. Shout out to Coach Johnny L for letting us, you know, me and Maul last week come up and talk to the squad, whatever. So anyway, I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was looking at like the Sexton kids and kind of how I grew up and, you know, thinking those same thoughts that you're having. And now my kids, you know, they go to a predominantly white school and, you know, they have my kids got like Delta Diamond or medallion status, right? Like, I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a different life, right? And so as I look at
Joker's going through clear.
Right. They're going through clear, right? Yeah. Straight up. Yeah. So as I look at, you know, kind of how my life was shaped and the things and the principles that I was taught and, you know, all of those things, it's like I still want to instill those values, but as a matter of not even work ethic, but as a matter of what we're talking about now, I'm like, are we doing them a disservice by trying to bring them back and rear them in the way we were reared for a world that looks different? I'm just saying, because we first generation money.
Yeah, no question.
Like, and I'm just saying that from like my parents, we had a decent middle class life. We weren't taking no flights. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't staying, we weren't going out the country, we weren't staying at all inclusive. That wasn't our reality. Our reality was we save up enough money, we're gonna drive to Florida and stay at the Days Inn. No problem with that. It was a beautiful lifestyle. But I'm saying, are we doing our kids a disservice by trying to raise them with the same kind of thoughts and intentions that we had?
Oh, absolutely.
Instead of trying to raise them, like, because I don't know, I'm saying, imagine somebody who 3rd, 4th generation money, they might be like, it ain't nothing wrong with your kids in the back of the Escalade.
It's not.
You know, like, I want to watch another movie.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So I'm saying, how do we teach them
Here's what I did
to
wrong.
raise it up a notch? You know what I'm saying? Like, cool, go ahead and enjoy that luxury.
Yeah, here's what I did wrong.
You know what I mean?
I think I did a phenomenal job with, you know, assisting my son in being a part of the Michigan State basketball program. And I did that, like, literally, because I know Coach Izzo is a workhorse. You know, you talk about middle class, that's all UP, bruh. That's all he's about. So I knew Jalen was gonna have to go, especially as a manager. I knew he was gonna have to go, and in those 4 years, I knew he was gonna learn how to manage. He was gonna come out those 4 years and learn how to manage. So I felt great about that. Here's what I mean by I feel like I messed up with my kids in terms of, Carl, what's the word I'm looking for? You said, what was the word you used? But you said something like, I don't know, like responsibility, right? Like, so here's where I messed up. I don't think there was anything wrong with paying for them to go to school. That's something that you do when you have. But what I did wrong, Carl, was they were never a part of that process. So I paid for them to go to school. They didn't go pay the money. They don't know what, like, they weren't involved in the process.
And my point to you is maybe they shouldn't know.
No, they should know. You know why I said that? Because there are things that Jada needs to do that she's not able to do because she wasn't a part of the process.
Right, but I'm saying, is there no value in creating a new norm? Again, you wanted them to know that because you wanted them to feel sacrifice, but they might just look at paying for college as,
I don't want them to know sacrifice.
This is no different.
You know, I don't want them to know sacrifice. They don't know money because they weren't a part of the process.
So let me challenge you on it though. What about the concept of us saying like, yo, I ain't good in this area, let me hire somebody to do that?
And that's cool, but you still have to know to do that. So what I should have done was not pay for them to go to school, but Jada wouldn't even know when school was. I should have at least made it like, Jada, I'm paying for you to go to school. That's cool. But you need to know when I'm supposed to be paying for you to go to school. Like, you need to know.
But why though?
Because you have to be involved in the process.
Are there not things that she can turn her attention to even elevate the Thomas name way higher than trivial, meaningless stuff?
No. Here's
like
what I mean.
Knowing when to pay for school.
Yeah, no. This is your education. So she's gonna walk across the stage. So a part of walking across the stage.
She's going to class.
Yep.
She doing that part. It's her education. The paying part is on the parents, hopefully.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that the kids should pay. But Carl, I should have known when it was not, because it's not my education. So I shouldn't have got a late fee because you didn't call me and tell me when I shouldn't have got a letter in my house saying school is paid for, you 3 weeks late. That's not my schooling. I'm not responsible for, I'm responsible for paying for it. I don't have a problem with that. I do believe parents should pay, but I shouldn't have to keep up when your money is due. I shouldn't have to keep up with that.
The responsibility and ownership is what you're talking about.
Like, you should at least tell me, I took 14 credits. This is how much the 14 credits cost. This is how much you need to write the check for. This is the date that it's due. Now I get a letter saying that there's a late fee at my house. I shouldn't have got a late fee. Now I was able to call the university and talk to them and whatever. So I messed up. I should have at least said, again, you don't have, if you want to pay or use your app to tell your dad, whatever. But when you don't have to worry about it at all, when it's your education, you're the one that's going to get the degree, you're going to go to get your master's. So I'm not suggesting that, I'm not even worried about the money part. I'm saying, Carl, if we're going to buy a car, so when I buy a car, Jada going to get a car at some point. She should come to the dealership with me if I got to go to the dealership. Or here's what somebody told me the other day that blew my mind. I ain't even on money what my kids are missing. My man was like, yo, E, I love you. I hear y'all talking about this wealth generation stuff. But bruh, not that I'm disappointed in you, but E, I don't hear you say nothing about social capital. He like, E, think of all the people you know. Does your son, are you passing down the names of these people you connected to? And I thought about it, Carl, like, yo, my kids are so privileged. If I died, they wouldn't know everybody and there's some people that they probably need to be in contact, because there's some people, like, let's just say, for instance, and I told my son and my daughter, we got to sit down. So Mike, right? So Mike is in Brighton. I think his program is in Brighton. Bruh, do you know that all of that stuff that's in that trust is for them? It's not for me. But if I was to die today without having had a conversation with him, Carl,
they wouldn't even know who to call.
They wouldn't even know. And I'm not saying that the lawyer's job ain't to call them, but the lawyer might not call you in a week or two. Why? Because the lawyer might have other stuff to do. So I'm not suggesting that it's your job to do the trust, but I am saying, since you're going to benefit from it, you need to be a part of the process. Now, we could talk about what the part looks like, but nobody should have control of your money that's going to you and your grandkids more than you know what it is. So that's what I meant by when we sat down and done the trust, because the trust is for them. Guess who was sitting at the table? Me and Dee doing all the work. But guess who I feel like now should have been at the table? Jalen and Jada, because there's stipulations. It's like, you get this at this age, this at this age. So how are you going to even know what to get if you're going to have to rely on whoever? Now, I got C on there, so I think you in good hands, but you shouldn't have to rely on C to get your money. C ain't getting that money, you getting that money. So I feel like I've done a poor job in that, if nothing else, Carl, they should have been more involved. Okay, yeah, you eating, but do you know how much groceries cost? Or at least come to the grocery store and see what the process of getting groceries look like. So if something happens or don't happen, you know how to grocery shop. And I guess I thought that when we go grocery shopping, you just gonna know how to grocery shop because we went grocery shopping. And that's the part I'm talking about. I think our kids are missing out on the process. Who cares about the money? They're missing out on, how did my daddy do that? Because when my daddy leaves, I need to know how. You feel me? And like I said, this may be a stretch, but when my man says social capital, either you got names down, whatever, I'm thinking, bro, you know how many people I know that Jalen, it would benefit him from knowing? You know how many people I know that Jada, it would benefit them to know? I'm not even talking about their relatives. I'm talking about powerful people in the world who I have blessed, who would love to bless my kids. My kids had the slightest idea who they are. So I have to do a better job of saying, yo, Bug, when I help you do this came from this person. When I help you do this came from that person. Here's their number. You don't ever have to call them if you don't want to, but at least see the connection between how we're living and the things we had to do to live this way, so you can make the decisions on which ones you want to do or you don't want to do.
Yeah, and I guess I agree. I'm not saying anything contrary to that point. I guess when I was speaking about that, I was more so thinking about like our thoughts and things as it relates to money. Yeah. Right? For instance, like, where I come from, you save your bread.
Absolutely.
My parents didn't have no money. Right, like, they wasn't like, oh, we about to just stock up and buy a crib or investment portfolio or, you know what I mean? Like these things that, you know, like for real, anybody who's ever been to Lansing, Michigan, this is the most blue collar city in the world. Like everybody, you know what I'm saying, who work at the plant got pretty much same car. You're gonna see, you know, the terrain. You're gonna see, like, you just it's a feel and a vibe that this city has. I love coming to my city, but there are things that I would have never learned and never been exposed to had it not been for the amount of success that we've had financially. Right? When you talk about you know, financial decisions, like there's things like so we all heard from Maul last week. Josh just bought a new house, you know, down in I don't know where it's at, but it's a beautiful house that he bought. But he bought the house. Did you talk to Josh about this? Anyway, he just got it. Did he tell you about it? Yeah. So he bought this house, and the house rents itself out like 8 months out of the year. So literally for 4 months, they can pick and choose when they want to go down there. It's got a beautiful golf course, everything. They literally like he might make a couple dollars on the house. But I'm just saying, like, that's stuff that I would never even think about coming from where I am. Like, you don't get two houses. Like seriously, I remember growing up, like, I used to think $100,000 was
a lot of money.
No. I'm saying, and it is a lot of money. I can't shout out to everybody in Lansing. I don't want to do that.
All right. No, I know what you mean relative to.
Y'all trying to make me look like I got affluenza again. Come on, don't do me like that.
I'm just saying, that's where it seemed like you was headed.
You know what I'm saying? No. I'm saying, I remember thinking, like,
no question,
you made it.
Okay.
Like 100,000 was like, whoa, because where I came from, that was the highest of the high. And so I'm saying, when you get trained with a mindset of, now our kids might be looking like $1 million.
Right.
What's that?
That's doable. No.
That's
I'm like saying, normal money for them.
Right. So
I'm saying, in this generation.
I don't know that like if somebody would have said, I don't know if we should stop them from thinking that that's normal.
No question.
You know, and we should. But I think my natural brain was like, I'm about to take y'all down to the Bankhead daycare and let y'all get smashed on so y'all can see that this ain't the real world. But in fact, it is the real world. I think our job now is to teach them a civic responsibility to give back to those and do have them understand. I told y'all my kids are still a little young, but I was trying to teach Trey about, like, you know, the fact that everybody doesn't have the way you have. Right. So I'm like, bro, I'm really trying. Like, I'm pulling up like the Save the Children commercials, like in Africa with like, I'm like, bro, look at this. I'm like, yo, look how they living. You know, and so last year, it backfired on me. But remember, I was trying to teach him around Christmas time. I was like, yo, flat out, there's some kids who do not get gifts. And he was like, man, I understand, Dad. I was like, you get it? Like, you're lucky to get these gifts. And he was like, yeah, I know. I was like, you know why they not getting gifts? I'm thinking he understood, like, man, they parents. He was like, yeah, they not behaving. They bad. Santa didn't bless them. I'm like, shoot. So like I said, it's a little early. But I am trying to get him to see, and I think he's starting to understand, like, even like, you know, stuff like being around, you know, friends or something like that. And he's like, oh yeah, we're flying here, then I'm coming back. And then like the other day, we got on a plane the other day, seriously. And the flight attendant was like, oh, what are you guys doing? What are you guys up to? Whatever. To Avery was like, oh, we're going to Jamaica. I was like, we're not going to Jamaica. We're coming to Michigan. But in her head, she's like, oh, we're going to Jamaica. Like, so
exposure.
Again, right. So again, your natural inclination, right? I said, Trey, the cleaning lady moved my glove. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'll smash on you for that. But I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that's not necessarily a terrible thing as long as they understand
that's it.
They have the responsibility to give back.
And that's what I'm saying. But you have to tell him, you have to put the cleaning lady in context. You know what I'm saying? So that he doesn't start getting to the point where, hey, clean my room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like,
no, you feel me?
That's death.
No, I'm just saying.
That's
no, it is.
But
I'm saying, but that could happen to him if you're not explaining to him, this is why we're doing that, and this person's son is just as whatever as we are. You feel me? And I feel like sometimes I gave my kids the stuff without the lesson. Now, I told you, I'm going to say only 20, 25%. Like, you know Boog. Boog ain't no disrespectful, out of order kid. You know, he not in it. Jada ain't no disrespectful kid. Like, Jalen works hard. Jalen got a job, work at the Boys and Girls Club, you know, which I'm grateful for because I want you still in that environment. Like, I don't want you only in affluent neighborhoods. Like, I want you still giving back to the kids, like whatever. So my kid's not on that. But I will say this, I do feel like there were some things that I did that I didn't explain. But when you talk about money, I remember I used to be like, yo, Bug, I'm going to limit certain things because I don't know if you can handle. And God was like, how will he handle it if you don't, let him play with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, let him play with it. So you have to earn it. So I'm at a point where it's like, yo, boog, just like anybody in ETA, there's no cap. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can only buy one property. It's up to you what you want to do. So I don't limit him anymore. I'm like, if you want to get houses, get houses. If you want to do the coaching, you want to be an agent, whatever you want to do, you want to do it. I'm going to give you this money. If you blow some of it or blow all of it, I'm not tripping on you no more. Like, whatever you want to do, go for it. I'm just hoping that you are learning something from this when you have it. So when I give it to you, let's just talk. Like, you a man now. So how much of this should you be saving? How much of this should you be putting away? You know, and he's got the, what do you call it, guys? What do you call it with the stocks thing? It's a name for it, like 500 PR or something. That's like this the top.
I thought it was called like 4K or something like that.
It's something where it's like it's like the top 500 companies in the world.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
SPG or something. And you put your money there, it's like the safest whatever. So he's doing that. I saw something the other day from Vanguard. So he's doing that, right?
4X is what I was thinking about.
Oh, you're thinking of 4X, yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's doing that. And then he's got the real estate thing. And then he's doing that. And God was like, yo, chill. You acting like he ain't saving nothing. You want him to be super responsible at 24. Like, let him make as much as he can, get out his way. And you know how he's going to learn how to spend money and be responsible when it's his and he's spending it? That's how he's going to learn. And if it takes 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, who cares? It doesn't matter. And so that's what I had to learn, see, because I'm thinking, you know how hard it is to make money? You better spend, you better say, you better whatever. No, if he want to take it all and go to Jamaica tomorrow, that's his business. If he want to take it and buy a car, that's his business.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because that's the exact sentiment I was talking about. You know how hard it is to make money? You putting that in your kid's head.
And it's not hard.
And the reality is, now, what you just talked about, he know how to make money like that.
Absolutely, he does.
Listen, as I'm sitting here talking, I'm like, yo, we cannot be the old man, get off my grass, right? Like, we used to be like, oh, you trying to blow up, you playing video games. I'm like, careful. Yeah. My man Ninja on Fortnite made like 100 billion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No question.
My man on
off a video game.
No, you see what I'm saying? I'm just saying things have changed and things have evolved. Now, there are some old school values that will never, ever change. Empathy, doing right by, like the golden rule, right? Like, treat others how you want to be treated. Like, these are things that I hope that they understand, but I don't want them to think it's hard to make money. I don't want them to think $100,000 is a lot of money.
Right, it's not, and we would be messing them up because they're growing up with us, seeing us do it.
That's the natural inclination because of how hard we had to work to get ours.
No, I'm saying I just got over it. No, I'm just saying I just got over it a year ago.
Last month.
Yeah, bro, I'm just saying I just got over it. Like, you know what, E? But here's how I got over it. I got over it by saying you got to earn it now. I will create some opportunities, but I'm not giving it no more. So if you say you want to make 100,000, I can show you how you can do that. But matter of fact, man, see, I'm gonna show this to C because he gonna really see.
I remember back in the day though, he used to say, yeah, it's one thing to make 6 figures, but can you save 6 figures? And that was big time for us 5 years ago. And now, if he has 6 figures in his bank account, he probably throw himself right off the church roof.
I'm saying what you said about the 100.
You know what I'm saying?
The 100, whatever.
Yeah, show me.
Yeah, no, I just want you to see this.
Okay, let me see. I'm reading the text message. We got to give the audio play-by-play for the people not watching on YouTube. I got you. Come on.
Okay.
Look at eyes going bad. Here, you want me to hold it here?
I just don't know where I want you to start,
hold it out here. You know what I'm saying?
Man, okay.
You got to get that LASIK, dog.
I just don't know where I want you to start. Just show the picture.
Okay, hold on.
Show the picture. Yeah.
Okay, picture of Kim K.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's from Jada. She single-handedly blew up the entire family. We can do the same thing.
I mean, that's the conversations we have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the conversation we have.
And now her sister worth more than she is.
You feel me? That's the conversations we have.
Crazy.
Use your phone pad.
Oh, my don't be banging your phone.
I'm just saying,
exactly.
Y'all get that though? I'm saying I'm having a conversation with my 21-year-old and my son saying, yo, for Christmas, let's just blow this consulting boy out. You know what I'm saying? Let's come together as a family. Jalen, you do it. Jada, you do it. I do it. But let's come together and do consulting just the month of December and be a blessing to the community, see what investment we can get from it, and then from that, take some of that money, be a blessing to the community. Jay, you can do whatever you want to do with your Jay. But we're talking as a family now saying, yo, there are families out here who are, as a family, making bread.
The Jacksons.
And it's like the Jackson family. And so I'm telling them, it's like I heard what Maul said, but I told them, Maul was talking about his kids when they 8 and 10. Y'all grown. So we can make money together. I don't have to go get a house for you and get a house for Jay. Like Jalen can go get houses for you and Jada, you and him. You feel me? And so I'm having those different conversations, see, where I'm not on that no more. I'm on not saying what you can't do. I'm talking about what we can do now.
I was listening to this thing and they said, and it was talking about just wealth in general, like generational wealth. And they said, to your point, they said that a lot of these wealthy parents, they actually set up a fund for their kids to fail.
Yep.
So here go 50 grand for you to go start a business and fail. We actually looking at your little script or whatever you got, your plans, and we know that this sucker about to fail.
Like, gonna take this 50K, call me in 6 weeks.
But what Pops is thinking is what you about to learn in this failure will set you up for life.
That's it. Which is, I think, what we have a problem with. Somehow we feel that if they fall, they're gonna hurt themselves.
Too bad to recover.
But if they fall and hurt themselves, they're not gonna fall again. And I had to have a conversation with my son and say, like, your C is low. So the way you look at rules and regulations, but I see this. But here's the mad credit to Jalen C. I said to my man, like, here's the reality though. You always gonna fall and hurt yourself because you gotta try it on your own, but you never gonna make the same mistake twice. So that's what I should have been looking at, is not, you hurt yourself 10 times. I can't sit here and let you hurt yourself. No, he hurt himself once. But guess what? Why is he not gonna hurt himself again? Because he felt the pain. He dealt with the consequence. So guess what he got? A lesson. The way I do it, you don't fall and hurt yourself. But guess what you don't get, see? You don't get no lesson. And guess what's gonna blow you up? The lesson is what's gonna blow you up. What you learn is what's gonna blow you up. Not when you don't fail, that's not what's gonna blow you up. But that's what I had in my mind. See, like, I want my kids to get hurt. I don't want them to make terrible mistakes. I don't want you to mess your name up. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to do that. Now I'm like, you know what? Go for it, because you're gonna learn from it, and guess who ain't gotta call you and talk to you about it? It's your lesson, and guess where it's gonna be? With you for the rest of your life. So while I hate that I was homeless, I believe it's one of the most, there are things that I learned in my homeless. Now, I learned some bad stuff, but there's some
how to make
things.
Pork and beans over a fire.
Right. You feel me? I'm not making pork and beans no more, so that's not really helping. But I will say this to you. I don't know if I would be as humble as I am right now if I wasn't homeless. I don't know that my level of empathy would be as deep had I not gone through what I was going through. Because my parents had gotten into they had gotten to wealth. And we lived in the suburbs. And I was feeling myself. And I did see myself different than my boys in the hood. So homelessness really was a time for me to really, like, get the character of E.T. together. And I just think some of the things that people admire about us as a company, our brand, I think some of that came from all of us coming from a working class background, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, to C's point, the values was what we need to be focusing on and not harping on some of the, the mindset stuff that we had coming from, our generation.
So the lesson to all of this is, if you need to blow up, just sell your house and move it, be homeless. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and be homeless.
Inner city Detroit in the winter.
Exactly.
Please don't do it in Detroit.
Go to Cali.
Yeah, go to Cali and do it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that discussion.
No question.
That's not even what we wanted to talk about today. E and I rode over here from Sexton, and we had a different topic on top of mind. Yeah. And let me see. I want to look at my phone.
Give them two things. It's 37 minutes. Want to give them two things? I don't care. I'm just saying it's a whole nother. They're going to have to go take a break and come back and get this. It's a whole nother topic. I'm ready, though. It's a whole nother topic, though.
Okay. You want to continue on with this one?
I wish they could call in and tell us what they want to do. You see? We got to do that. We got to go live.
Caller, you're on Z103. Yeah. What do you want to hear us talk about?
What do you want to hear us talk about?
The studio done messed them up,
no,
y'all.
I mean, don't threaten me with a good time. I think this is a great conversation, and I think it's, extremely valuable, and I'm able to see the parallels now of, especially being back home. You look at, I'm literally where I grew up for 28 years, something like that. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was here, so I can look at the things and the lessons and the values. Like, we're up there talking to the Sexton kids. I was telling you, like, And I'm up there, wow, and it's so crazy. Now you look as a grown man and you like, wow, like I told E, it's a kid that's Sexton, like 6'4", 6'5", dude play like tight end, defensive end. My man could go anywhere in the country and play ball, ineligible. And I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because I know his father. His father was unfortunately shot and killed, but I'm looking and I'm like, man, this kid got the world at his hands. And I'm like, no, you know, nobody's there to like give him that guidance. Now, you know, coaches and things are trying, but it's been so tough for him to get to that level. And I'm looking like, man, it's a mindset here. You know, it's a mindset that you grow up with. And I guess the thing is, how do you get those kids, maybe even who don't have the exposure, right? Because it's one thing for us to be talking about our kids. And at the end of the day, you know, knock on wood, our kids are going to figure it out, right? You got positive role models, positive influences. You're going to figure it out. But what about those, you know, young people that don't necessarily have that same, you know, influence? How do you get that mindset through to them? Or even, let's take it a step further. Even people who listen to this podcast, like, yo, I'm not even feeling this whole discussion because y'all talking about some, you know, leaving your kids with wealth type stuff. I'm trying to create my own wealth.
Right.
You know, how do you get exposure to that level without having the exposure? You know what I mean? Like, there were certain things I maybe here and there that we saw, like
but
even when we were coming up.
If you're listening to us, you should be in a position where real soon you're going to be in wealth. You know, like for real. There's no reason you shouldn't be taking the principles that we're giving you and using them. Like, this is exposure. Like, you don't have to physically be in the environment. You feel me? Like, we are giving you those principles. So as a parent listening or a person who's single, you know, whatever, you're going to be married one day, you may have kids, you should be thinking of generational wealth. Even if you don't do it for yourself. I told you, I sat in a room with Warren Buffett. And one of the things Warren Buffett said, and when you think about Bill Gates, they're using their wealth for kids that are not their kids.
Right.
So even if you don't have kids, again, I know I harp on this all the time, but C-loving Bill Gates. Bill Gates saved CJ a whole bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? And he saved Candace a whole bunch of money. So Bill Gates did not grow up in Detroit, didn't go to any Detroit schools, but yet he gave thousands of kids in Detroit the Bill Gates Millennial Scholarship, and he put them through school. So I don't care if you don't have kids. You should still be thinking about generational wealth. You should be thinking, how do I keep this country a great country? And how do I position kids in this country to be able to compete and stay a world power? Because at the end of the day, we're either contributing to the greatness of the United States of America or we're taking away from it. So I would just say—
Well, let me ask you this. Where did you learn because one of the things, like as we're talking about exposure, right? And we're talking about now our kids getting that exposure whether they want it or not. But there are people, kids, you know, people in my community, right? Like there's just people in my community who don't have access or have not ever been exposed to Jamal. Right? They may be able to do the exact same thing that we all did with real estate since Maul put us on game. But they don't have that information. They don't see somebody who looks like them. And I'm saying, what were some of the things that you saw for somebody listening who doesn't feel like, man, of course they have exposure through this podcast, but even in their own community, things of that nature. Like what? Because I remember the first thing, this is when there were $0. He would be like, and I don't know if you just read it, you heard it, whatever, you would be like, yo, we got to have multiple streams of income. We're never going to be millionaires unless we make money in our sleep. Like those were things that you told me and implanted in me before we even made a penny together. I'm like, make money in my sleep. I'm just trying to make money wide awake.
And any means necessary.
I'm wide awake and I can't make a dime. But you understood the lessons and the principles. So were there some people, mentors, books, things that you were exposed to that allowed you to know, even though I don't have it right now, I will eventually have it?
You know what, man? I'm glad, man. I love this podcast. Because
it's a pretty good podcast.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you say things and you make me think about stuff that I didn't even thought about. But you know where I think
my job is the A mic.
Thank you. I appreciate you. You know, it's crazy, and Carl gonna go, Lord, I didn't even think of this. Church was the first place that I was exposed to wealth. I'm gonna be real. You go to church, you have at least one doctor at your church.
That's real.
It's at least one doctor. You know what I'm saying? You got a Moni in the chuck at that joint. There's gonna be some lawyers. You got a Crystal and Calvin. Crystal's a lawyer. Calvin,
a PhD.
working at I don't know where he at, North Carolina. I'm not sure, UNC, one of those. But I'm just saying, like, I went to the church. The Iwaniyis were the millionaires. And the Iwaniyis had come to me while I was in college And they saw the stuff I was doing was like, yo, E, you need to invest. And they wanted me to invest in this tool that could drill holes in the ground and get oil. And I was like, I don't, what? That don't even make sense. And they were just doctors at the time.
Sound like a hustle to me.
Yeah, it did. And when I say just doctors, like compared to where they are now. And they asked me about it and kept begging, like, E, you need to get in. I was like, nope. I would say yes, but I never gave them my money. And then they came to me and showed me.
How much money was it at the time?
That's very ET back then.
Oh, no doubt.
It was
wait till I
probably
get
like
my check.
Yeah, it was probably about $5,000, $10,000. Like, E, you could get in. And I didn't, and they did.
And how much did they make?
They made millions off of it. My man struck, he literally struck gold, bro. They made millions. And not just made millions, Carl. I watched them go from that little house that was a nice house for doctors and lawyers till they built their own house out in the suburbs somewhere, and like they bought their own land.
But they cause global warming, so you can always live with that. You know how you missed out on something big? You gotta try it. God got something for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm gonna be real. I never felt like that. I felt like, E, you was the closest that you was ever gonna be.
You missed
out.
out.
So when I came to y'all, the reason why I did it is because Brother Iwaniyi and Sister Iwaniyi literally had jobs, and then they end up not having jobs. You know what I'm saying? But I watched them as doctors still make investments. So they had multiple streams of income.
Right.
You know, and so the pain of what I'm trying to keep my kids from, the pain that I went through of hanging out with them and they taking me out to dinner and letting me in their circle.
Oh, that's the worst. We would have had to stop being friends once they hit the jackpot and I ain't giving the loot. I'd have been like, can you see E? Like, no, you ain't get the check? No, I gave you the check.
I gave you the check.
No, check your back pocket.
Check, yeah.
You had your blue jeans on.
So I'm just saying church is the first place.
Yeah.
And then church people or people who are affluent will recommend books to you. I did read those books.
Which books?
Well, it was The
Rich
Millionaire
Dad, Poor
Next Door.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, for sure.
Dad.
Richest Man in
Babylon.
Babylon.
What is that one? The Greatest Salesman in the World. You know, Think and Grow Rich. I did the Black Choice, Dennis Kimbrough. Then read all Dennis Kimbrough stuff. Maxwell, I read Maxwell's the first one. The Tipping Point. It was just a couple books that they would give you that.
Maxwell or Gladwell? Gladwell wrote The Tipping Point.
Oh,
right?
yeah, Gladwell. Well, you know, I meant to say that. Thank you, C.
We got fact checkers out there.
No. I meant exactly what you said.
Exactly. Yeah, just throwing you.
But then I also got my boy left over the crib, Maxwell's, the 21 most important minutes of a leader's day, and then he gave me the what was that? The 21 most irrefutable laws of leadership. So I started reading the books,
we did read a lot.
We read a whole lot.
So I want to challenge, and I might not be the popular vote on this one, but I want to challenge to what we're talking about, the age that we growing up in. Man, you got all the information on your doggone phone. Now, here's the thing. Exposure's still huge. Like, you don't even know to go to look for this stuff, but I'm just saying, like, you spending time doing a whole lot of other stuff. Like, I'm challenging you. You listening, you know somebody. Like, for real, I challenge you to just take an hour and find something on there like Google how to make money. Like, I'm just saying, just start the process. Like, it may not come in the form of this podcast, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, the way information works now, like, you got too much access now. You know what I'm saying? For real, the excuses have, like, it's evened out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because before, we had to go to the library to get these books. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, doggone it, you can YouTube. I don't even gonna say it like that, but I found a very popular audiobook on YouTube the other night. I was like, oh, I ain't even got to buy the audiobook. I could just play it off YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like, but again, it's that simple for you to go get real information. You know what I'm saying? Without paying. We doggone it gave information for 10 years that can get you.
And you know what's so funny? As we talk about, kind of upbringing, things like that, I never met one person my first 22 years of life who told me to read not one of those books. Right. I know some of y'all grew up in like New York, and like LA, and they was already on that. We wasn't on Gladwell.
Why? You going to GM to work?
You know what I'm saying? I'm Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I never heard of any of that until I met E, I think. You know what I mean? I just wasn't exposed to it. And so again, you're not responsible for where you grew up or how you grew up, but you are responsible for not knowing going forward. You know what I mean? And there's so much information out there. And I think, man, it's so crazy to me that people are so hesitant to invest in themselves. People always ask, like, see, somebody came up to me, young dude, and he wasn't even talking about one of our programs. He was talking about something else. He's like, see, you think I should invest in this program? It's $1,500. They teach you how to do, it was film editing something. And I'm just like, absolutely.
Right.
I'm like, dog, listen, people blowing money on stuff that ain't got, worst case scenario, you don't get a whole lot out of it. I would rather you spend money and bust in trying to invest in your own development than I would you just blowing money,
absolutely
going up the street, to the mall or something like that. You know what I mean?
No
But people
question.
are hesitant. But again, if you're out there, and this could be in any field, just continue to get the information. Like the information has changed so much. I did in my newest keynote, remember that last slide I talk about
millions.
Yeah, I'm at the millions conference. I was talking about, one piece of information literally made us millions of dollars. Like one conversation, sitting down with one person who had that information. So I think, again, I agree with you guys that exposure is key, but don't wait until, poor me, I don't have nobody to show me the ropes. Like, nah, go ahead and make it.
Yeah, you can
create
show you
your
the
own
ropes.
exposure.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
no, you can show you the ropes through the internet. I was telling somebody the other day, amazing. We all got our degrees without having to go to the library. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally could go on your computer, go into Harvard Library from your house and pull an article from Harvard Library that wasn't necessarily at the Michigan State University Library. You can go to, a library anywhere in the world and pull that information. So to your point, see, now here's what I want to add. The reason why I'm asking you to pay for it is because most of you do not have the discipline to do it without paying. And what paying is going to do is no magic in paying, but what paying is going to do.
magic in paying.
It's a different level of
It's a different level of commitment. It's a different level of commitment because you paid. So somebody today, I hit one of my boys and was like, yo, bruh, you put up a video the other day and was like, you're a songwriter and you got your own label, but you hadn't come out with an album or you hadn't come out with written a song in like years, maybe a decade, right? So I was like, so I called for like, do you know how to write? Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you know what to write? Yeah, I know what to write. Are you a musician at heart? Yeah, I'm a musician at heart. I was like, get a coach, pay. He was like, pay for what? Because it took you 10 years to do it. If you know how to do it, and you the man that's doing it, and you not doing it, now I ain't trying to put their business on the street, but they want a Grammy. So I'm saying, like, you know what to do. So it sounds like to me, it's only one thing missing. You need a coach. Pay for it. And because the only reason why you haven't done it is because you're not losing nothing by not doing it. Like, for real, you're not losing nothing by doing it.
Right.
But if you feel like you losing something because
no
you
question.
can't, because listen to what I'm telling you guys, you're listening. Hear what I'm saying. If you can't make yourself feel like you're losing something, then you physically got to lose something now. Okay? So it's like you're not the kind of person.
You can't recreate that pit bull chasing you on your own.
Right. You don't have that on your own. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's not the pit bull that's chasing the person. That's the chase. It's you having to run from something. So because you don't have a pit bull, go pay for a pit bull to chase you. Go pay for one. Be like, all right, hey, bro, I'm paying you to be my pit bull. You chase me every morning. And I'm like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, well, why do I need to get a coach? Because you can't chase yourself. So go pay for something to chase you. And I said, here's the deal. Now tell me this. If you pay for that pit bull to chase you, would it be worth writing songs and getting them out? Would it be worth the money you're gonna make from doing it? Would it be worth the satisfaction of walking around knowing that yeah, it would be. Then pay the money. And the reason why you're not paying it, because you're looking at it as a loss. No, the loss is you not reaching your full potential. That's the loss. Because if you reach your full potential, everything around you gonna be different. And I had to explain to them, it's a different world being number one in the world. Like, yo, forget money. Ain't nobody tripping on money. I walk different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wake up every day knowing I got a sense of purpose. Like somebody waiting on this video at 3 o'clock. So that's why I don't get up at 6. Not because I couldn't get up at 6. I could get up at 6 and be lazy if I wanted to. I get up at 3 because somebody's chasing me. Who? I don't know, some athlete, some kid, somebody waiting for that video who gonna say, E, you told me 3, I had to wait to 6:30. Where are you? It's people literally, sometimes when I sleep over, I was in D.C. recently and I drove an hour and a half to the airport. I flew into D.C., drove to my event, spoke, had to sit in the airport for 3 hours, flew back, drove back home. I got up at 6. I thought it was 3 because it was still dark outside. My body was like, no, you're not getting up at no 3 o'clock in the morning, not if you're not using your alarm clock. And so I didn't use my alarm clock, got up at 6. And sure
What
enough,
time have you been getting up? Your gym pictures. I'm like, whoa, these things coming early. You sent me one at like 2:40.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, go to bed.
Right. So I got up late at 6, and somebody hit me like, I beat you up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got up before you. You feel me? And so I'm like, you little whippersnapper.
Right,
You got me today, but tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying pay so that way you can, no alarm clock
As
needed.
we just,
Perfect.
as we just lose one of our art pieces falling off the ground. Nobody big yet. You know what I'm saying? Nobody
we lost the one that said my
what
alarm
was that,
clock.
though? You know what I'm saying? It's a little ghost in here. Just threw us off. No. That's so big. Shout out to Lashana. I got her picture this morning. She's down 20 pounds.
She got that
you guys
pit bull
heard Lashana?
Give me that applause.
Oh,
Come
that
on.
pit bull. I promise you,
I'm
give her the applause.
She got the pit bull in this company chasing after
20 pounds down in 5 weeks, I believe.
Yeah.
And again, same person.
Same thing. I ain't lost 20 pounds in 5 weeks.
I'm just saying.
I haven't.
You next. Once I get off her, I'm on you. And then I got to get on myself, apparently.
You can get on me first. I don't care. I'm good.
No. Again, same person. Same, excuses, if you would, or potential excuses are still available to her. But you have accountability. You have. I'm not even doing nothing, bro. I'm not doing nothing. I ain't no picture of health. But I am I'm holding her accountable, and I'm telling her like, yo, I need to see the scale every day. She texts me today, geeked up. Like she sent me an audio text and was just like, yo, thank you. I'm down 20 pounds. I feel great. And she put up a post yesterday like, man, I'm fitting into some clothes. Before I was just wearing sweatpants and shirts and all of that. Now I'm actually wearing. Hey,
I got some sweats now.
You're not sending no meal plans or nothing?
Bro, let me tell you how you know you had this off.
Oh, here he go, y'all. Get ready.
Hey, I was sitting there the other day, I was like, man, when you get near 40 is the only time you would have to adjust your belt hole 3 times a day. Bruh, I had smashed cracked chicken the other day. I'm talking about I had to let out
a little bit.
2 notches. Bro, about 2 hours later, I was out running with the kids, stuff like that. My pants was falling. I was like, let me come back. I said, wow. This is amazing. Yeah, no question. So anyway, the accountability that she has, right? 20 pounds down. And so it was so funny. Like I was getting frustrated. Like when we started to get this thing moving, right? Like when E started to have some success, of course, now everybody E's saying CJ on every TGIM and Carl, whatever. So people are like, now starting to be like, who's this CJ? So then people would start finding out, hitting me up, like other speakers, right? They wanted me to train them. And you remember I called you. I was like, bro, it was like literally 15 speakers like, yo, let me call. And they would call me and I would literally chop it up for like an hour, just giving them advice and information on like what we had done. Here's how we did it. This is what we used. This is the formula. Make sure you got this. Don't do this. Take this off. I was giving them like keynote advice, how to structure their keynote, everything that we basically do in Game Changers right now. And I remember I was just getting burnt out. I was like, yo, I'm looking up. I'm spending 4 hours a day coaching for nothing. Okay, and here's the crazy part. The people that I'm coaching, I'm looking at their stuff like, bro, you didn't do nothing with.
I didn't do nothing I told you to do.
And so I called Ian. I'm like, he was like, bro, you got to make him pay. And shout out to my boy Elijah. So after E and I had this conversation, we went to Phoenix. And Elijah hit me up after the conference, was like, yo, can I get your number? I need a coach, da-da-da. And I was like, oh, he about to get it. You know what I'm saying? He about to get it. And so he hit me and I was like, yep. I was like, I do coaching. Here go the amount. And he was the first one I ever charged for coaching. I charged him. I was like, yo, I can coach you. And shout out to Elijah, still my boy to this day. I'm still coaching Elijah. It's my dude. He's the only one-on-one client I got. But I understood back then, okay, I'm letting people abuse me. So then when I started charging, what I noticed was Elijah was taking it so serious. Like he had a structured time, right? He was like, I got hey, what did you say? Hang on, I got to get that in my notes. And he was actually implementing and applying the things from a personal level to a business level and all of these things. And I'm like, wow, there's such a big difference. Not only was it, and it was good for both sides. It was good because he was able to take it serious because he's like, yo, I'm paying for this service. And for me, it was good because I'm like, yo, I started to value my own information even more. So nobody gets it free now. You know what I mean? Like for real. I outgrew the one-on-one, which is kind of how Game Changers was birthed. So now I can use all of these things and these principles that I got and I can put it into a class, but by allowing you to pay for the information, it allows you to take it more serious. I just believe if people say, oh, college should be free, I'm like, it's going to be a whole lot of dropouts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just be real. I thought about dropping out of college. It got really, really hard, but I was like, yo, my people paid. I had the accountability of like, yo, your people sacrificed a ton, bro. You gonna walk out on this thing? And so you talking about making college free, and maybe it should be. This ain't no political podcast. Go ahead and make it free. I'm just saying, if it's free, your dropout rate about to skyrocket. I can guarantee, because when it's free, you didn't pay nothing, you don't have the same level of commitment to it. You just don't.
Unless it's food.
Yeah, exactly. Right. No.
Thing,
yeah, exactly. So, what you guys are saying is huge. So, get an accountability partner or join the fourth quarter challenge.
Hey,
float on the track like a Segway. Hey,
let's go.
Give me a little Migos drop on this little whatever this board you got.
I got
Give me the Segway drop.
Oh, you got to do that. Yeah, you got to do a Segway, boy.
Yeah, I got.
You got to do that so you can just hit it.
The Bad and Bougie. Give me the Bad and Bougie instrumental. Carl, tell us about the Q4 challenge.
Hey, by now y'all should have ordered. Let me just put it like that. But we started October 1st. And look, if you haven't gotten them yet, it's not too late. Look, jump in. You get three planners. One planner for each month. October, November, December, man, we're dealing with the health. We taking we going at this thing for real. It's the end of the year, but it's not too late. You don't want to go, look, I'm about to be 40.
Right.
I'm about to be 40 on October 23rd, y'all. I am not going into my 40s.
You don't look a day over 39.
I promise you. I'm trying to keep it that way. But again, as we approach the end of the year, I don't want to go into 40 not feeling my best. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I'm trying to make sure everybody, man, we about to end this year. We want to go out of this year strong. So we dealing with the body. We dealing with the brain, we dealing with that bag, like for real. Like these are the three most important areas in everybody's life. I don't care what you got going on right now. Those are the three things that we want to be on top of. So for real, etinspires.com/challenge. Make sure you go sign up, man, and get with us and finish this year out strong.
Yeah, no question. In addition to that, make sure you try out some Organifi. Now, if you see this lovely glass that Carl has, Organifi sends him all the free trinkets and he keeps them all to himself. But Organifi.com, man, the superfood green juice powder that the whole team has been on for a while, all right? If you listen to this podcast, you know that's kind of what fuels us up here. So go to Organifi.com, Organifi.com. Use the promo code SUCCESS, all right? And you're going to get 20% off your order. Listen, man, stop playing around with your health, all right? Just stop doing it. For real, you need it.
Yeah.
You definitely need to get those greens in your body. It's like, I don't know, 100 green vegetables in this one powder.
Kind of stuff in
Listen, man, you take it out, Carl. You don't have one right here. Boom, tear it open, drop it in your drink, shake that up, and you just walk around with it. And the best part of it tastes good. I ran into somebody the other day was like, yo, it tastes phenomenal. I think it tastes phenomenal. He doesn't necessarily like the green juice. That's okay.
Yeah,
still good for you.
What I do is I just put it in hot
but
water.
Grow up anyway. Grow up,
right.
okay?
You still on taste?
Yeah,
Come on.
I'm like, bro,
It's
you
for your health.
taste. Yeah,
I close my eyes and just buy.
I told LaShawn the other day, I said, get off taste. That's your problem.
Yeah.
Tell you the same thing. Get off taste.
Oh, that's
I'm
cool.
like, I'm not on that no more.
Oh,
no, I'm just saying, I'm not on that.
No. I'm saying if you on taste for food,
it's a wrap.
you gonna be.
That's
a
what
wrap.
I'm saying. And to all you vegans and all you health nuts out there going, it tastes tremendous. No, it don't. No, it don't. Now, relatively speaking.
Right.
Relatively speaking. Bro, I had cracked chicken the other day.
Yeah, especially if you didn't grow up eating meat.
Your vegan wings do not taste like this cracked chicken. I promise you. All right. But I'm all in because, listen, man, we trying to have health. You know what I mean? So that taste is temporary, right? I saw a dude, there was an article, and he said, and it was true, I think I said it before, but he was just talking about like, yo, you eat this cheeseburger, you're going to have like 4 minutes of bliss. He said, but I'm going to eat this salad, and the rest of the whole day, I'm going to be feeling better than you feeling. You know what I mean? So just look at the risk reward. All right. So shout out to Organifi, the sponsor of this podcast. They do big things, man, and we just appreciate them.
Big things. Pop.
All right. So check it out. What y'all want to do? Y'all want to go ask ET or do y'all want to go to announcements? We'll see y'all in DC in 2 days. All right. We'll be in DC.
Sold out.
It's sold out. All right. We tell y'all all the time, and I think sometimes y'all think we playing. Sometimes we say, hey, it's going to be sold out, and it's like a marketing ploy. There are no more tickets in DC.
Like don't call me and ask me. We don't have any more seats. No, I'm just saying we don't have no more seats.
Even my friends and family in DC, I'm sorry. Watch on pay-per-view. All right, which there is none. So I'll be there though. I'm bringing Trey. We bringing the books.
Trey.
Yeah, Trey gonna be signing books.
Yes,
so listen,
go.
if you're in DC in 2 days, you see the book table. Y'all better come up and get an autograph from my son, and you better buy a book. My Secret Superpower, the book that my son and I wrote together, is out, and it's a great addition, not only for kids, but for entrepreneurs as well. And so we'll be out there with that book. So y'all stop by the table, introduce yourself to me, and show me some love, and show young Trey some love. All right, what else we got, Carl? We got Phenomenal Life Mexico 2020,
y'all. Phenomenal Life.
2020.
Like, for real, again, we say it every week, and we talking about information now. Like, for real, y'all, this is a week-long immersion in everything that we believe we've learned in the last 15 for me, and C for E the last 30. But like literally everything that we've done, all of our connections. You just heard E talk about the social capital. Like I'm talking about, we're bringing the people that help us. We're bringing them to the event there in Mexico. And again, we're not bringing you to Detroit in the winter. We're making sure we're taking you somewhere that's gonna. Man, I don't even know how to just Google it. Like seriously, I'm talking about the weather is phenomenal. The resort is bar none. Like serious. So we're giving you the full package, man. Come and enhance your life. Like literally, you will not leave there the same. Listen to what I'm telling you. You will not leave there the same. So Phenomenal Life 2020, man. Y'all come check it out.
All right, so let's move into Ask ET, man. We got a couple questions here. We haven't done Ask ET in a minute. So Shiro Athletics on Instagram said, ET, what if you already have a PhD, but you know that there are more goals to be reached outside of the traditional academia? What are the next steps?
Yeah, one more time. I was on his phone.
Yeah, okay. Welcome back to the podcast, sir.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
Welcome back.
You know what I'm saying?
Only 50,000 people listening as you scroll through Instagram.
I was getting the text for the A3C gig?
A3C.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
All right, Shiro Athletics. Are you ready this time?
I'm ready.
Are you still looking at your phone?
I'm
Go ahead and rest your phone on your phone pad, please.
I'm listening.
Exactly. Anybody home?
Everybody's home. You know what I'm saying?
What if you already have a PhD?
Big gig.
Okay. What if you already have a PhD, but you know there are more goals to be reached outside of traditional academia? What are your next steps? What are the next steps?
Like this time, instead of letting the institution choose your courses for you, you choose your own course. So you might want to study Oprah. You know, like make it into a class. You know, you might want to study CJ. You know, go to his conferences and listen to him. See if you can get a one-on-one talk with him. Find out what books he's reading, what he's doing. Yeah, the price is right. They can get it if the price is right. I'm being serious. Like, whoever are the people that you look up to and you're trying to model after them, like literally turn them into a course and don't play with it. Say, I'm going to study Oprah Winfrey, you know, for 16 weeks, you know, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 12:40 to 3:10, you know, and you write your own syllabus out, you know, like this is what I want to learn from her and study from. So literally, like, yeah, go to class, but this time don't make the university make decisions for you. Don't let them tell you what books you should read and what papers you should do, you know, and what do they call it, practicums you should do and what thesis you should have. Like you do your own stuff based on what's important to you, you know. So I guess that's non-traditional schooling, but pretend like it is a degree. How many credits are you going to take? How many hours are you going to study? You know, what are the requirements? What homework will you turn in? Like for real, make it make it your own degree.
Chris Story 91 said, are there any steps you could recommend to finding your purpose?
Yeah, here's the first one. Take the assessment. What is it called? Extreme.
etinspires.com / extreme.
One more time.
etinspires.com /
I guarantee you, I was talking to somebody today. And it was like, it just seemed like you're going to another level this year. What happened? I said, I looked at my test. I'm on the I, and I went up and went, I'm inspiring. You need to be the most inspirational human on the earth. So every day when you wake up, based on my test, it showed me what I was. It gave me 10 words and boom, 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 go for it. You feel me? So take the test. It's going to show you I'm a D, I'm an I, I'm an S or a C. And then we're going to decide from that superpower of the 10, 12 superpowers inside that superpower, you pick one and you wake up for the rest of your natural life and you go after that. You feel me? So that's what I would recommend. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend nothing else. I was going to say something else, but nope, don't do that. Find out what you are first, get with a coach first, and then after you get that information, then you can kill the game.
Okay, here's a good one for y'all. Mr. J.O.J., how do you get your spouse to execute?
Ooh, that might be for CJ or Carl.
Ooh.
Oh, no, that's
dangerous.
My wife executing, always has, so I can't, you know what I'm saying?
But he said how to get your wife to execute.
Yeah, I'm saying mine came built like that.
Yeah, but here's the deal, though.
All of ours pretty much.
Exactly.
But if it's somebody that's going to tell somebody what to do, it's CJ.
Oh, I got you.
So CJ, if you had to tell somebody what to do because you're that guy.
See, the problem
what
I'm
would you
having
say?
is usually, like, I agree with you, E, but when it comes to telling your spouse what to do, I haven't
watch
mastered
yourself.
that yet. You know what I'm saying? That's when my eye kick in when I'm with my wife.
Ooh, and we lost the second.
Oh, give me that. Wait, come on.
I think that's Didi with that window.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, we got ghosts. Yeah, we're going to have to do an
flew
exorcism. We're going to have to do exorcism in this church.
They didn't flew in. Yeah.
Hey,
We didn't let 'em in.
To answer it, though, is
Go ahead, Carl.
no.
Go ahead. Tread lightly.
Oh,
Tread lightly,
I'm treading
player.
real good. I'm telling you, shut your mouth and do it. Like, do what you're saying. Do model it. You don't have to do nothing. Like, and I'm just being real. Like, I started working out. Y'all heard me talk about it. My wife told me now she going downstairs, and she not going to the gym, but she going downstairs to the elliptical.
No question.
My mom is telling me she going to the gym. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying you start modeling it, and they'll follow. Now, I can't tell you they'll follow in a week.
Right.
But you do it consistently.
We're not giving you no time frames.
Right, no time frames at all. But I promise you, the process is going to work. You start doing it. The real estate stuff. Tamisha went on board when I started. The last investment that I did financially, it didn't really pan out right. So she was like, here you go again. I just was like, yo, I'm going to do it and I'm going to prove it. So I'm talking about to this day, the only conversation we had now is, and I could feel the turn is, oh, if you make enough where I don't have to work, if you could make my salary, then I'm coming home.
That ain't nothing but
I'm like, oh, we good.
House.
But I'm saying a year ago, we weren't having no conversation about it. So I'm just telling my man, you model it, do what you need to do, get the results, and it's gonna come.
And if she don't, just shut up.
Just shut up and keep moving. Find something else to do with your time.
Get a coach. Get a marriage coach. You feel me? We had those two. Quest out there. Quest out there.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Quest. We definitely got the marriage side on lockdown. Man, and it's so funny, like, again, y'all, we not promoting stuff just to be promoting. Like, we really got, like, a marriage community. Like, yo, if you going through it, again, find out. You would never try to make it to the NBA without ever having a coach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you think you're going to get you marriage.
Here's what's crazy. Not coach, see? Multiple coaches. Like, you just don't have a head coach. You got the assistant coach, like defensive coach, offensive coach, whatever
Strength
your
and
position is.
coach.
It's crazy, bro. People don't want to. It's crazy.
I had a slow moment, and y'all forgive me if y'all ever thought about this, but I never processed the word head coach. Like, I always thought head as in position, like, but head coach. You see what I'm saying? I never thought about it. Like a day last week, I was like, no, it's your head coach. He not the head because he the leader. No, he your head coach.
He your head coach.
Ooh.
Yeah, for real.
Sound like a new title for Carl.
You feel me?
The Beige Sensation head coach.
Let's go.
No, for real, for all y'all out there that need a coach because you in your head,
let's go.
He is the new
head
coach. That's what he does.
You think them things broke?
I don't. I know the way they're made. They're not. It's like
they canvas. Yeah, they canvas. They all right.
All right. I'll put them up next week.
Hey, but they did hit that metal table you got out there.
This is our podcast waiting room over here, y'all.
Y'all got to come and sit in the room.
Once we have a guest, whenever we have a guest, I'm going to just make them sit out there just to make them sit out there. Like, you ever been in somebody's office and they they just, like, you ain't doing nothing, but they like, oh, sit right here right quick. I'll be about to leave every time that happens.
Every time.
I'm like, oh, okay,
I'm
straight.
off.
Yeah, no,
they got a little office and they want me to.
Where was I at the other day? Somebody asked me to wait right there. I was like, nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm just leave. You know what I'm saying? Tell him call me back when he ready.
He didn't know you was a hot D.
And I'm talking about, it was like 30 seconds. Like, oh, go ahead. Yep, y'all stay right here. We'll be right with y'all. Anyway, okay. Do y'all want to do one more? I just lost. I was on E's Instagram. For everybody who asked me, like, see you on Instagram, how you know? I'm like, no, I know how to go on E's. Unless the password get reset. I'm like, shoot, show me how to do it. Whoa.
Teach me how to Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie.
Okay. Man, I'm trying to find. Oh, somebody said, can you please add tickets to DC? No.
Nothing from nothing leaves
nothing.
We've been talking about, if you listen to the podcast, we've been talking about DC for a minute.
Until,
Yep, so Yosef, there's no more tickets, brother. I'm sorry.
We got to start doing, what's it called, Jurassic Park? We got to start doing our own Jurassic Park. Like, in Toronto, they got Jurassic Park. We got
come outside.
We got to have our own
Just
little
a screen outside and y'all sit out there.
outside, y'all out there. You know what I'm saying? Getting it in.
Yeah.
You feel me?
We can have a little vendor table out there.
You feel me?
Yeah, but this podcast waiting room, we need a little bit more ambiance in there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Jeremy felt like he did the most he could do for us.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying we just need like a water
own.
jug in the corner. There's some speakers out
He
there,
said
but maybe
no,
some
speakers there. The speakers
out
there.
Yeah, no, I see the speakers, but I'm
you
saying
want
we
to put
need
them on
like
the wall?
just a little
No
wall
question.
art, something.
No
You know what I mean? Something
Oh,
along those
wall
lines.
art.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
just like a picture of the three of us on the podcast or something.
Oh, okay.
Which we do have from New Orleans.
Yeah.
We do?
Yeah. Remember we got that one from New Orleans?
Which
And
one?
it's got Josh and
Maul.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yo,
Carl was
shout
looking
out
like he
to
was
New
21.
Orleans.
Oh,
But let me tell you
love
something.
Yeah, Carl look at 21
Bourbon
years old.
Street.
Yeah, something special.
Yeah, that's different.
Oh.
That's different.
Bourbon is different.
Yeah, my friend. I was out there. I said, okay, Thine Eyes? Bruh, I was out there like, yo, this is, they call Vegas Sin City.
Yeah, no,
I
ain't
said,
nobody
what is
talking about
this?
it. Yeah.
Oh, man, it was off the chain. All right, I think that's it, man. I got a 1
Yo,
o'clock.
but
I'm late.
why is the internet, social media undefeated? So I get a perfect birthday present. Look at this. I love it. It's undefeated, bro. Internet is undefeated. Unbelievable, bro. They gonna get you, bro. You saw it, Carl? They gonna get you, bro. They gonna get you, bro.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
Turn
yeah, yeah. I love it. I love the internet. How do they know I need that shirt?
She'll be coming around the
About
mall.
when she comes.
Yeah, because you. So for you got okay. So the shirt is like a, is it odometer?
Odometer.
Yeah,
Odometer. Yeah.
And when it changes, we'll put it on YouTube. And somebody's got to do a better job of when I say that.
They're actually doing
No,
it.
somebody came up to me. I think it's Keontae and Sean. They were like, "Yo," our Masters of the Game students. They were like, "Yo, like y'all always be like, oh, we'll put it on." She's like, "Y'all never do it, or y'all don't put it on the podcast."
Hey,
page.
watch
So
this,
somebody
E.
hold us accountable. That's Carl. Carl got the C.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the
Oh,
S.
yeah. Watch this. Oh, yeah. He gonna
Blame
put it
Carl.
on right now.
Yeah. All right. So it's a shirt and it's an odometer, and it's like, you know how the odometer is like flipping from 49 to 50.
yeah.
So it's like in the process of becoming 50. And E got the shirt. So when you had your birthday and you had everybody on Facebook saying to you happy birthday, and they were looking at your date of birth, then they sent them the shirt that is perfect.
On the podcast, son, I'm gonna hit you right back. We finishing up now.
And they got the shirt that's perfect. Book, what's up?
Let me apologize in advance. The card is full, so I don't know when that sucker stop.
Oh,
So I'm apologizing in advance for all those that's watching right now on the black screen.
yeah, you only got to watch a minute of this on YouTube.
The card was full. You shot this morning.
No, I didn't.
Oh, so
It
the
was
card
just
still has
full.
some stuff on it.
Oh,
It's full.
yeah. Well, hey, next time.
Yeah, no question. All happening next time.
Yeah, so I think that's it, y'all. I just like, because we in the studio, I just like
Try to get
still
everything
talk.
out of
No
it.
You
question.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the studio make it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a different feel.
It's a different vibe
Yeah.
for sure. Because usually I'm at home,
I'm just
in
walking
the
around.
basement,
Yeah.
on the chair, just like solo, but I can actually look at y'all. Y'all ain't that bad looking, dog.
Hey, I appreciate
Money done
that.
glowed y'all up a little bit.
Ah.
You know what I'm saying? Money done turned y'all like halfway decent. I've been handsome, but y'all creeping around the eye.
But what it is it's company, keeping the right company.
That's
so
right.
we've been around you and it's starting to come off.
Drink that water.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, can you give us at least a nugget of the day so we can be on our way and go do our good deeds for the week?
Yeah, I think C said it earlier, like, don't get stuck, guys. Don't get stuck, It's all about growth. It's about making adjustments, So he said it, as parents, we grew up one way and we want to pass that on to our children. There's some stuff we shouldn't pass. But you will pass everything on if you're not getting new information. You're going to pass the same information down. Guess what's going to happen? The generation is going to get the same outcome. So humble yourself. For real. I think learning is about humility. It's about saying, I don't know enough, And so, yeah, I do want to leave this, though. Somebody gave me this today to give to my son, and I want to give it to you guys. It said, what's the difference between somebody that's wise, somebody that's smart, and somebody that's stupid?
Information.
Okay.
Applied information.
Yep. So he said, when you're stupid, you keep making the same mistake over and over again.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He said, when you're stupid, you keep making the same. He said, when you're smart, You make mistakes, but you learn from them. So what's wise?
Learn from the mistakes
Other
of
people's
others.
mistakes.
He said you don't make mistakes at all.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? You don't make them. You know what I'm saying? So just throwing that out to you guys as parents, we can't be stupid. We can't keep making the same mistakes and saying the same stuff, and even though the results don't change, who cares? You just gonna keep doing it. Or, let's move to smart, where it's like we tell our kids stuff and then they mess up, and then but let's try to get wise. And to C's point, let's try to learn this generation. Let's try to think differently and say, no, everything that we did, they can't do because it's not even the same. And let's put them in the best position we can put them in, and not the position we want them to be put in. And you got to for real humble yourself, because sometimes as a parent, I'm like, well, this is what I went through, and this is how we had. Ain't nobody doing it like that no more. You know what I'm saying? So give that up. Give up how you see the world, and see the world how the world really is. And for real, give your kids something that you never had, and not just money, but give them an experience, that you never had. So make the adjustments, y'all.
And make the adjustments for those of y'all who have never given us a review or rated us on iTunes. Make the adjustment. Let me tell you something. You know what? Our podcast ranking to go down because all of these big companies, they go in and they pay for all these major spots and promos, and they get people to write fake reviews and do all of that. We don't do that, y'all. We just depend on y'all to go on there and rate it and leave a review. And then guess what? We jump up the charts. More people listen, they give us better placement.
We might need to start doing that.
You know what I'm saying? Well, if y'all don't start going and leaving reviews.
We might have to start paying for coaching.
Listen, we doing over 55,000 downloads a week, and we only got 3,000 comments. So 52,000 of y'all. Shout out, listen, I should say shout out to the 3,000.
That actually went on.
Let's focus on them.
Yeah.
Let's focus.
Appreciate
for all of
y'all.
y'all 52 just lunching off the content and can't even leave a review, doggone it. And if you got an Android, borrow somebody's iPhone and do it. But no, in all seriousness, man, we appreciate y'all listening. We love you. We'll
see you next week.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity with all your might, with all your soul.